Please don't forget, like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell. You know it makes sense. Come on, you Irons. Okay, so I've got a few selection of stories from the One Football website. You'll find a link in the description section below where you can download the One Football app to your mobile device. Just put in the team of your choice and also your national team, and it will put all of the stories into one place where you can get that at your convenience. The first story I'm going to bring to you is from the Court Offside website. West Ham ready to let talented 6'3", 21-year-old go to Championship side. And it says Cardiff City are set for a meeting with West Ham next week about the possibility of signing talented youngster Alese on loan. Now, Alese is a left-footed centre-back, 21 years of age, as it says, and he is the captain predominantly of the under-23s team. He's played one first-team match this season, which was the final group stage match against Dinamo Zagreb, which was essentially a dead rubber. Other than that, he's not really had too much in the way of minutes in first-team football this season. He has played for the first team he made his debut against Hull City in a League Cup match, which we won 5-1. Other than that, as far as first team action's concerned, it's been pretty hard to come by for Alese. He's had 2 loan spells out previously with Accrington Stanley and Cambridge United, which totaled 17 appearances across those 2 loan spells. Now, I feel at 21 years of age, to be honest with you, I think he should have been out this season. For those of you that have seen streams that I've done before, I'm a big advocate of players going out and getting minutes under their belt of first team football. I've said it before, if you've got a player that shows a degree of promise where you think that he's got the potential to have a career in your first team, then you need to get him playing men's first team football as soon as possible. If he's just a run-of-the-mill average ballpark player, then fine, play him in Premier League 2. But if you think that you've got a player on your hands that actually could potentially make it in the first team, then for my money, you need to get him out playing against men, seasoned veterans that are going to take these players to places that they've never been before and ask questions of them that they've never been asked before. And they've got to come up with the answers, sink or swim. Now, I think that this guy's Alese turned 21 in January just gone. Now, if he goes on loan next season, by the time the loan finishes, he's 22 years of age, and his contract will then have, his contract as present expires in the summer of 2023, although we do have an option to extend that by another year. For me, I think we should have been sending him out this season. He's basically spent all of it on the bench. Yes, he's played Premier League 2, but Premier League 2 I don't think is a true and proper test for someone that has aspirations of playing Premier League football or even Championship football, to be perfectly honest. So for me, I think that this is probably a move that's come a season a little bit too late. I think he should have been out this season. You could always put a clause. I've heard of clubs putting clauses in loan arrangements to put a recall arrangement in place so that if there was injuries left, right and centre and you looked at this player maybe that was plying their trade in the Championship, League One, whatever, and was actually doing really well, you could possibly look at that player and go, I'll tell you what, let's bring him back. We've got a bit of an injury situation or suspended players or whatever. And this guy is playing a couple of rungs down the ladder, but he's doing well. So let's bring him back and let's test him. But we do seem to miss a trick when it comes to loans, I think, not just in terms of like this, where we're loaning a guy out that really should have been on loan this season rather than sitting on the bench here, playing under 23s football there, which, like I say, I don't think is a true test, quite honestly. Don't get me wrong. I think that loaning him out is a good move. But for me, I think it's a season too late, and it just sums up a lot of our transfer business for me. It's too late, too little, too late a lot of the time. I wish the guy all the best. I mean, like I say, he's a left-footed centre-back. The fact that he's left-footed, it's at a premium in football today. If we can get him out there and he possibly cuts the mustard and it could come back into the first team in a year or two's time, fantastic. But like I say, I think it's possibly a little bit too little, too late. The next story I want to bring you is from Tribal Football, and the headline says Southampton captain Ward Prowse wanted by West Ham and Newcastle, but ... So it goes on to say that Southampton captain James Ward-Prowse is attracting fresh transfer interest ahead of the summer market. And it goes on, it also mentions Aston Villa alongside ourselves and Newcastle United have all expressed interest in the midfielder. However, the Daily Mail says Saints have no plans to lose their skipper. Well, there's a lot of clubs that don't have plans to lose any of their players, but it happens for a whole multitude of reasons. Now, it goes on, Ward-Prowse in this season in the Premier League has scored 9 goals, 4 assists. The guy has a wand of a right foot, and I believe that the only player that's ahead of him in terms of free kick goals is David Beckham in the Premier League. So if we could get this guy in, I mean, he would be an absolute jewel. I mean, he's got some England caps, obviously. He's played for England 10 times and scored 2 goals. He's Southampton's captain, so obviously, if we could get this guy in through the door, let's look at it. He's 27 years of age, so he's in and around his peak years. He's proven, tried and tested in the Premier League. He's a set piece expert. He's a captain, so he's a leader. Nothing about this guy that, for me, is a risk. Everything, he ticks all the boxes. He can play defensive mid, he can play central mid, he can play attacking mid. So he's got the versatility that David Moyes likes from his players. However, sticking point will be that he has quite a long contract at present. His contract expires in the summer of 2026. So if this is realistically a player that David Moyes is looking at, and I absolutely would advocate that this sort of player should be the sort of profile, if you will, that West Ham ought to be looking at, especially if we've got aspirations to build on our current progress in Premier League and indeed European football, hopefully, touch wood. This is the sort of player that we should be looking to get in through the door. But I do think that possibly the fact that his contract as of this summer has another 4 years to run means that the money that we would have to pay to get him out the door at St Mary's would be a significant chunk of change. And I'm obviously not too sure what sort of funds David Moyes is going to get in the summer transfer window. Refusing Transfer Market as a reference point, they value him at £28.8 million. I think it would be significantly more than that because, as I say, he's English, he's proven in the Premier League, and he has 4 years to run on his contract. But this is a guy I would absolutely be happy to see coming through the door at West Ham United, no doubt about it. The third and final story I'd like to bring to your attention. Now, this is from the website Get German Football News. West Ham ready to pay 25 million euros for Konstantinos Mavropanos. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Konstantinos Mavropanos. Now, that name might ring a bell with some of you guys because this guy is actually an Arsenal player. He's on loan from Arsenal at Stuttgart in the Bundesliga at the moment. This story goes on to say, as reported by English media, cited by Premier League side West Ham United, are ready to pay a fee just under 25 million euros for Stuttgart defender Konstantinos Mavropanos. Now, this is the bit where I'm looking and going, well, that's a bit strange. It says here that Stuttgart are looking to buy this player from Arsenal for 3 million euros and then sell him to us for a fee of under 25 million euros. Now, I'm looking at that and thinking, actually, that doesn't really work for me. You're telling me that they're going to buy him for 3 million euros, flog him for another 22 million on top of that, 5 minutes after they've signed on the dotted line, and we're just going to sit there and go, oh, that's great. No, I mean, I don't really see why can't we just sort of like cut out the middleman, cut out Stuttgart, go straight to Arsenal and just say, look, what's this guy going to cost? You're gonna sell him for 3 million euros to Stuttgart? I tell you what, we'll give you 6 million euros. I don't know. I mean, they've got an option to buy him in the loan arrangement, but it's not an obligation according to Transfer Market. It says it's an option, so there's no obligation to sell him to Stuttgart from Arsenal's point of view. So, but the other thing is this isn't a guy that when he was at Arsenal and playing in the Premier League, what did he do? I mean, I'm struggling to think of him actually sort of like doing too much for Arsenal. I mean, looking here, he played 8 Premier League games. Now, all right, he's gone to Stuttgart, and by all accounts in the Bundesliga, he's actually doing okay. And I'm looking here, he's had 3 games out with an injury, but that's nothing really sort of like too much to worry about. It's not like he's had prolonged period of time out with an injury. So that's fair enough. But as I say, in the Premier League, when he was at Arsenal before, 8 games. 8, that's it. And he's been on the books at Arsenal for a good couple of seasons. So 8 games in that period of time, I'm not really too sure that that's really something to get too excited about. He's a centre-back. He can also play at right back. But I don't know. I mean, this isn't necessarily a guy that I'm really excited to, if he was to come through the door. I mean, look, if David Moyes wanted to bring him in, then I would have to turn around and say, okay, fine. He knows more about football. He's probably forgotten more about football than I will ever know, to be perfectly honest. But that being said, just looking at the sort of like the facts that 8 appearances in however many seasons at Arsenal, you know, it's not like Arsenal have been blessed all down those years that Mavropanos has been on the books at Arsenal with world-class centre-backs, in which case I could possibly understand him not getting into the first team at Arsenal. But to be honest, a lot of the time that he's been there, their centre-backs have been bang average. He's a Greek international. He's got 9 caps for the national team. He is 24 years of age. I don't know. I mean, I'm not entirely sure about that one. James Ward-Prowse, absolutely fine. Alese, yeah, fine. Get him out on loan. Get him the experience. But I do think that should have been done a little while ago. Konstantinos Mavropanos, I don't really think that's really a signing that I would really jump up and down about. But as usual, guys, as with all of these stories, it's all about opinions. You've got the comment section below, so please get stuck into that. Give us your opinions. Alese going on loan to Cardiff. James Ward-Prowse possibly coming in through the door. And also Konstantinos Mavropanos coming via Stuttgart. He is an Arsenal player at the moment, but it looks like they're possibly going to buy him and then flog him straight onto us. I'm just like, just cut out the middleman, go straight to Arsenal, make them a deal, cut out Stuttgart out of the deal completely. As I say, according to this, it's an option to buy. It's not an obligation. So business is business. Anyway, comment section below. Get stuck into it. Let me know what you think. And as always, don't forget to drop a like on the stream, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you hit the bell icon to be notified of any new content as and when we upload it to the channel. Come on, you Irons. There is a star, and